Viewers, very good evening. Very good evening. India has been able to thwart Pakistani military aggression, targeted aggression at our military establishments, especially a brigade headquarters in the Krishna Ghati area along the LOC. India, in the process, has knocked down one Pakistan F-16 jet, which has fallen from the skies, according to the Ministry of External Affairs and the Indian Air Force on Pakistan's side of the LOC. The pilot was seen dropping out of the plane in a parachute. He was also targeted by ground fire. Viewers, we can also tell you that Indian MiGs were the first on the scene to ensure that none of these Pakistani jets came across and did any harm to our installations. Scared Pakistan flew away, and you can see those pictures on your screen. Confronted by IF, the Pak jets began to flee. You can see the jets going right back to Pakistan, already assuming a high altitude. This happened early this morning. You can see plenty of daylight. But ever since this, Pakistan has been spinning one fake news after the other. Now, in this particular action, the Pakistanis said, oh, well, we have just come across the border to show that we can also respond in kind. That we engaged 6 targets across the LOC from within Pakistani airspace. That we were only dropping payloads on open ground on the Indian side, just to show that what India can do, we can do better. This is a fabrication, viewers. It's a fabrication because India detected these Pak jets trying to target military installations. I told you, brigade headquarters, Krishna Ghati area was one of those targets. And once Pakistan found that it could not achieve its ends, which have led, of course, to a dramatic escalation, it has spun a story showing that it is actually morally superior in some ways. It is only trying to protect its own territorial integrity and its own right to self-defense against Indian hostility. In fact, the MiGs that engaged Pakistan ensured that its F-16s returned without incident on the Indian side. And that's really the second lie, because Pakistan has said 2 Indian pilots have been arrested, 1 in hospital, another in custody. The fact is that only 1 pilot, Indian pilot, is missing in action, and Pak is yet to officially communicate this to India. Pakistan media has videos of our pilot in Pakistani custody brutalized. Some of the pictures show that he was actually not injured. And that explains a lot, because many people in our defense establishment have told times now off record that the MiG actually crashed. It was not brought down by any defense forces on the Pakistani side of the LOC. And our pilot actually bailed out, ejected, and fell to the ground safe. And if you look at those videos, which we are not going to put out in national interest, viewers, our pilot was then set upon by hooligans, depraved Pakistani regulars in uniform. And there is an apprehension that he might in fact even be tortured. Pakistan lies. Let's have a look at the third one. The third Pakistani lie is even more instructive. It said very clearly that the IF planes were shot down, 1 fell in our space, another in India. But we have made it quite clear that we've only lost 1 MiG-21 aircraft while engaging Pak fighter jets, and it refuses to accept that one of its own fighters has bit the dust. Now, obviously, this fits in, viewers, with an entire chain of deception born out of desperation. The Pakistani army is so desperate to save face today that it will spew and spin any lie to suggest that they are as effective in countering India as India has been in destroying their terror network. So what do we know, viewers? They started putting out fake pictures. Can you believe it? And I'm going to show you some of those fake pictures. You will be stunned at the depravity, at the fakery of Pakistan. That's why we are today calling it Fakistan. Look at the pictures on the right of your screens. Today they were showing these as visual evidence of having brought down our jets. Now look very closely, viewers. The number on the tail fin of the aircraft. And what does it say? We're going to go full screen to it for just 30 seconds so we can understand. There, TU 657 is the number. You can see it quite clearly. It's in blue, highlighted to the right of your screens, viewers. If you look to the left, that's the same number on the tail fin of a MiG that crashed in Jodhpur in 2016. Yes, incident happened 3 years ago. Pakistan trying to suggest that it happened this morning. There are other fact checks that we've conducted, and they go deeper. Here is a video I want to play out for you, where Hector Kenneth, our executive editor, and his team sat down and did a visual fact check of what Pakistan was putting out. Here it is. Watch this and make up your own mind. Because I can tell you this, viewers, after you watch this expose, you will realize that Pakistan cannot be trusted. And if Pakistan cannot be trusted with the facts in this manner, in a situation such as this, how can we ever believe Pakistan if we were to sit across the table from it? How could we ever sit across and discuss any terms, because they will perhaps never ever reciprocate on those terms. They will never deliver. Before I play out that, let me also show you other examples. There to the left of your screens, viewers, and we'll go full frame on this one also. Aircraft number A3492. Let's look at the next one. The next one, aircraft number A3492. We need to just go to the previous visual on this, please. If the director can help me. That's right, A3492. There you can see IF jet trainer crashed in Baripada, June 2015. But the Pakistanis, and you can see that, and there is Rahman Malik's phono running, who is the Interior Minister, the former Interior Minister of Pakistan, commenting on this as a great victory for the Pakistani Air Force, saying the Indian jet shot down in Pakistan, pilot has been arrested. This is the kind of fakery that has been going on. Nothing has been shot down. Our pilot missing in action. And just watch this demonstration that we did of the fake news content. This is the footage that is being run on Pakistani news channels. You can see this is a Pakistani news channel called 92 HD. TU 657, the visuals of a MiG. You can see this. You can see that the fuselage beyond the tail has been destroyed. You can see this very clearly. Now let us show you the pictures from Jodhpur of a few months ago. If the camera can zoom in, this is an NDTV copy. MiG-27 fighter plane crashes into building in Jodhpur. Pilot unhurt. It was filed by a journalist, well-known journalist, June 13, 2016. Note the date, 2016. It's exactly the same number, TU-657. Same background. You can see that dressed up in Pakistan and demonstrated as a kill. This is a fact check done by an assignment desk. Our assignment desk here, Hector, shocking. I can't believe this actually.
Yeah, so what we did is just went past all the footage that they are being circulated on Pakistan media, and it's very clear that this is an extreme case of fake news. They are peddling old pictures, that also from 2 years back, 2016 in Jodhpur, and claiming it's a kill happened inside Pakistan occupied territory.
My. Can you imagine the implications of that when you claim that it happened inside Pakistan territory? Then many people in the international community will ask, what are Indian jets doing inside Pakistan boundaries, inside and within the borders of Pakistan? And this is the question that we had begun to ask ourselves. And now it's quite clear, viewers, that Pakistan is peddling fake news. Hence, the reason why we are calling Pakistan Fakistan. Yes, Pakistan is Fakistan. Their media is irresponsible. Their media is sold out perhaps to the inter-service intelligence agencies. Well, there was that trajectory, the Pak fake claim. And that's the hashtag you need to engage on. Before I show you more physical evidence of the fakery, I just want to bring in Maruf Raza, General Ashwani Sivach, Brigadier Mahalingam, General Arora, and Prabhu Dayal. And I want to begin with you first, Maruf. Maruf, the questions are obvious. Is Pakistan's relentless focus on spreading fake news a sign that it has been hit badly? It is stinging from India's onslaught of the last 24 hours.
You see, Rahul, those of us who've been following Pakistan for several years, one thing is quite certain, that Pakistan rarely comes up with an accurate official account of anything. And the second thing is that the Pakistani media has little choice if they wish to operate in Pakistan but to follow the diktat of the inter-service public relations. I can give you numerous examples of how they doctor everything to suit their narrative. The central point is that the Pakistani people have been continued to be fed with so much of one-sided information that it's difficult for them to make out what the truth is, because there is very little exposure they have to, I'm talking to the general public,
Yes.
to sensible narrative. As there is in India, there are multiple pieces of information that are coming around. The fact of the matter is that Pakistan is cornered, as you have rightly said, and Pakistan is on the back foot. But we must also understand that we have opened a strategic window, and more so for ourselves than for Pakistan, to respond in future in kind with the kind of terror attacks they do, that we will respond and hit out at terror targets wherever they may be in Pakistan. To that extent, my own submission is that we should not engage beyond the point with whatever tactical activity that is happening. That will happen. It was predicted by us yesterday. The strategic dimension is that we need to step on the gas with the international community and tell them that we have now given you further evidence of Pakistan being a terror sponsor. Pakistan will continue to fabricate information. They've been very good at getting the world to buy their narrative over the last several decades. The second thing is, the weak spot of Pakistan is not the military, it's not the information, it is their economy. And everything that we can do now to get our friends in the international community, and this is where Prime Minister Modi's foreign policy initiatives will pay off, is to put such a squeeze on Pakistan that they have to make a choice. And this is something that we can do by a preponderance of information in our media, because people do follow Indian media in Pakistan. I know that. I get a lot of hate mail. The fact of the matter is that we have to let them know that, boss, you have a choice. You have X amount of $1 billion left in your kitty, which is about $5 or $7 billion. You either last a few weeks in terms of what you can buy from outside, or you can probably go in for a one-week conflict with India. So you want to go for broke? Fine, we'll go for broke.
We'll go for broke. We have no compunctions. I just want to open this out to some of our colleagues who have been reporting this story. Pradeep from the Indo-Pak border, where there has, of course, been a lot of action today. Megha from the Prime Minister's office, Srinjoy from the MEA, and Aditi from Vijay Chowk. I'm coming out to you one by one now. Pradeep, at the border, what's the scenario? We saw a lot of action. Things cooling down, or are they as hot and bothered as they were this morning?
Yes, troops are on high alert. In fact, the commanders on the ground have already been instructed that in case of any misadventure or mischief from Pakistan's side, give them a befitting reply. Also, they have come out with an advisory for the people. They have been asked to stay indoor, not move out, because we have seen that how Pakistan made unsuccessful attempt to target brigade headquarters in Krishna Ghati as well as in Nowshera sector, but they failed to do so because their aircraft F-16 was intercepted timely by Indian MiG-21. It was during that process while chasing Pakistan's F-16. Our aircraft clashed and one of the pilots is missing. But what is actually what we had been discussing, you're absolutely right, that Pakistan believes in the policy of, in fact, beg, borrow and steal. They are begging from the Saudi Arabia $20 billion, borrowing from China, and even look at the vocabulary they have used today. They have stolen words from the Indian vocabulary. We said it was a preemptive non-military strike, and they're also trying to come out with the same kind of a vocabulary that we never wanted to hit military installation. One thing is quite clear, they wanted to target military installation, brigade headquarters in Krishna Ghati sector, but when they failed to do so, they dropped a bomb just to send across a message that we too can carry a strike. The question arises, when India carried out a strike, they wanted to hit terror target, because Pakistan often said that these are non-state actors. But if India has targeted non-state actors, what Pakistan is going to target on Indian side? The Indian military for targeting non-state actors, which Pakistan often said they are not under their control. So these are the questions and the humiliation which the Pakistan army and administration is facing, and that is why they are just churning out lies and lies. We have seen that Pakistan has mastered this art of churning out lies and unleashing false propaganda. But this time they are completely exposed, because everybody knows that what is the situation.
I can tell you one thing, that India is actively, Pradeep, making these facts known now to the international community. And there have been a host, in fact, of diplomats that have been summoned and been briefed by the Indian side. Give us an update on that, Srinjoy.
Yes, even while I was here, where I am right now in front of the MEA, several High Commissioners and Ambassadors were here. We saw the British High Commissioner here. We saw members from the OIC countries. We saw he was not invited, but he was summoned, the Pakistan Deputy High Commissioner. And he was told in no uncertain terms what the situation was. He was told that we want our pilot back. He was told that, look, we hit a terror target in Pakistan, which was away from civilian and military targets, and you chose to attempt to hit a military target. You raised the stakes. And thirdly, the terror problem is something you have created. It's something India is only trying to solve.
Yes.
These were the very large points that were made. Besides the British High Commissioner, the Chinese ambassador was called in, and the Chinese ambassador was told that, look, this is an ally of yours, Pakistan. This is the situation. He was told very clearly what the situation was over the last 2 or 3 days. So India clearly reaching out to a lot of friends, a lot of allies, and telling them what the situation is.
Well, it's beginning to have a marked effect, because the Russians have come out with a statement. The Russians are saying, we express a serious concern about the aggravation of the situation along the LOC between India and Pakistan and the outbreak of tensions between friendly states. We call on both sides to show restraint and set up any efforts to resolve existing problems by political and diplomatic means. We are ready to further assist in strengthening the counter-terrorism potential of New Delhi. And we are also being told now that the United States, and we reported this a short while back, but we can confirm it, has also called upon Pakistan to not use F-16s because they are violating the end user clauses that were part of the deal in the first place, the agreement in the first place under which these purchases were made. And I want to bring in Aditi on quite another point. The opposition held an all-party meeting, Aditi, in the capital. What's the outcome of that? We're seeing, once again, some scratchy opposition parties now beginning to break away from the consensus that had been forged over the last 4 or 5 days.
Well, it was a 3-hour-long meeting, Rahul, and we were hoping that this time around, given the sensitivity of the situation, given the fact that India has been escalating all sorts of pressures on Pakistan so that they come down and agree that there are terror groups, there are terrorists who came from the Pakistani territory to the Indian territory to attack our forces on the 14th of February when the Pulwama terror attack took place. Today, after the meeting, 21 opposition parties, Rahul, came together to pass a resolution. Even though in the resolution they backed the Indian Air Force, they said that Pakistan needs to be cornered at every level possible. But what really was disappointing, the only aspect that was disappointing in the resolution was they regretted the fact that the Prime Minister till now hasn't chaired an all-party meeting. So they did raise concerns about how the government, the Prime Minister who's heading the government, hasn't kept the opposition leaders in the loop. However, they did laud the efforts of the Indian Air Force. They have unanimously come out and said that they stand by the government of India. They stand by our Indian forces in whatever
News coming in, Aditi, big news, and I must break it right now. Times Now's exposes have been vindicated. Perhaps Pakistan's channels, official media sources are watching us because they have now come out and gone back on their initial claim that they have 2 pilots in their custody. And I'm going to play out, viewers, for you the original claim that was made by Pakistan, the lies that they have been spewing, disgusting as they were, depraved as it is, and desperate as they suggest. Now I'm going to play out that, but right now we have got confirmation that Times Now's expose has been vindicated. Pakistan has gone back and said, we don't have 2 pilots in our custody. Remember what they had said? They said we have 1 arrested and 1 in hospital. 1 in our custody, 1 in our hospital. So there's only 1 pilot, and that too also a pilot who crash landed in Pakistan, not shot down. And if they have any sense of propriety, they would return our pilot. Right now, Pakistan is hiding, using our pilots as a bargaining chip. Why is Pakistan using our pilot as a bargaining chip? Do you think we are going to bargain with blackmailers? What do you take India for, Pakistan? What do you take India for? I'm sorry, it's not acceptable to our country. No civilized nation will ever countenance engaging blackmailers. Don't you dare mess with our pilot. I know of the reports that have been coming through all day today. We have seen the visuals. We are not going to put out those visuals because we are not going to give you the satisfaction.
The pilot is missing in action. Pakistan has claimed that he is in their custody. We are ascertaining the facts.
There's a refrain in Pakistan, Jeeve Jeeve Pakistan. No, Jhoothe Jhoothe Pakistan. That's what it comes down to. Liars and cowards who hide behind a kidnapped Indian pilot. Release him. If you have any conscience and you conform to any law which upholds humanity. Jhoota Jhoota Pakistan. Exposed here by Times Now, finally doing a U-turn, and I want to show you, viewers, the tweet that they have put out. The tweet in which they have named the pilot without, viewers, without even beginning to tell Indian authorities his identity. This is how disgusting Pakistan has become. In fact, I'm not going to put out that tweet because it names our pilot until Pakistan doesn't have the honor to come clean and inform us. We will not put out the name. I want to bring in General R.K. Arora, Brigadier Mahalingam. Brigadier Mahalingam, why are these Pakistanis today eagerly outdoing each other in lying? Brigadier Mahalingam, why are they lying like this?
Rahul, you must understand one thing. Pakistan is incapable of doing anything against India. India went across and sort of demolished their terror camp. Now, but the problem is the Pakistan's military has to show to the people of Pakistan that it is quite superior to the Indian military and that they will handle them. So therefore, since they have nothing to show, they have no option but to tell lies, and all these lies that is coming about, the aircraft numbers and so on and so forth, is purely for the consumption of the Pakistan's people. And also Alongside that, there are some gullible countries, people who really do not know the complete details. They are also trying to mislead sort of people.
Yes,
in
you're
fact, I
absolutely
myself
right.
was
This is
wondering.
a barefaced attempt to save face. And it must be called out. This is the real Pakistan. This is the real jhoota Pakistan, not jeeve Pakistan. I'm going to take a short break. I'll come straight out to you, General Arora. I'll come straight out to you, Mr. Prabhu Dayal and General Ashwini Sivach. I'll come straight out to you. Bear with me. We're taking a short break here. Viewers, let me tell you that Pakistan has now admitted that it doesn't have two pilots but only one in its custody. Times Now has been reporting Pakistan's fakery all through the morning, and we've also been reporting on this fact that their claims of having two pilots in custody are completely fake. And they're doing this, viewers, to save face, so they can tell their public, which is obviously very gullible, that they are matching India in this undeclared war, quite frankly. Undeclared war in which India is righteous and Pakistan is deceitful. And the pilot that they have in their custody, viewers, they have not even bothered at this moment to inform the Indian authorities officially. They are trying to parade him on Pakistani media. And this is a pilot they have kidnapped because his jet crashed in pursuit of Pakistani fighters after he had actually brought down one Pakistani F-16. Those pictures we have shown you this morning, and they're right there in the middle of your screens. That's the chase that was happening. That was the dogfight. We brought down one of their jets inadvertently. We stepped across the LOC, which is, remember, a contested line in any case, into POK, which is our territory. And then MiG crashed, unfortunately, and the pilot bailed out unharmed. And then he was set upon by Pakistani regulars and residents there. And he was ill-treated. I don't want to use words which have greater import. You can see the wreckage of that plane to the right, and you can see it's not been hit, it's crashed. It would have disintegrated had it been hit by any air defense system mounted by Pakistan. Now the question is, will Pakistan continue to hide behind our brave, blackmail India and try to bring it back to the bargaining table, talks table, what have you? It's a test of Pakistan as a modern, humane state. And as of now, it is failing miserably in establishing its credentials. Now, India has many options, and I'm not going to go into some of those options, but I'm going to go across to our reporters also, and I'm also going to be going across to some of our panelists. Megha, this is a situation, you were there at the press conference where India made it quite clear that they're ascertaining the claims that have been made by the Pakistanis, because the Pakistanis haven't still now bothered to inform us officially. This is in complete violation of Geneva Convention. It is in complete violation of any protocol which upholds humanity.
Yes, Rahul, and Pakistan, in fact, instead chose to allow its media channels to air that footage in rather having that much of decency to let India know officially through the diplomatic channels that they do have an Indian pilot in their custody. Today at the briefing, two things was made absolutely clear, Rahul. Number one, that India did not engage on its own today. It was the F-16 fighters that had intruded into the Indian skies, and that is why, as a matter of retaliation, it was the Indian Air Force MiGs that had gone into the sky to chase them back. And in that engagement, one of our MiG MiG-21 Bison went down, and India till now officially maintains that they are trying to ascertain the details about the pilot missing in action. They said one pilot, Rahul. They did not say two. They said one MiG-21 Bison went down in that engagement, and one pilot. They said Pakistan is claiming it's in their custody, but obviously diplomatically we haven't heard anything. He did not say about two pilots what Pakistan was claiming at that point in time. I'm glad that they have taken back those information, those reports that there are two. Right now India maintains it's one, and despite the fact that we haven't heard diplomatically, Rahul, what we can tell you is that the Deputy High Commissioner of Pakistan, who was summoned by the Ministry of External Affairs today, has been told in no uncertain terms that we want our pilots safe back in India. That has happened, but when will Pakistan even have that kind of this thing to, decency to let India officially know that one of the pilots is there in their custody? But the visuals that went on the air on the Pakistani channels were obviously not in good taste.
Now I want us to listen to what Imran Khan has said before I bring in our panelists this evening. Listen to what he says. Listen carefully how he's using our pilot as a bargaining chip, trying to blackmail and arm twist India into returning to the talks table. What does he take us for? Listen to this. Well, all of this, of course, happened a short while ago. Now, of course, Pakistan has come out and made it official that they only have one pilot. But nonetheless, they're trying to use that the pilot as a bargaining chip. And I want to come out to you, Major General Arora. Should we be engaging with blackmailers on their terms?
See, Rahul, Pakistanis are trying to falsely justify what they have done, and that is why they are using this stratagem. Let me explain the legality of our actions and the illegitimacy of their actions, and then it will fall in place why they are doing all this. And what I'm going to tell you, this also must have been shared with all the foreign diplomats, because this is the basis of our action. Under the UN Charter, any state is allowed to carry out preemptive strike, although Article 2(14) of the UN Charter says territorial integrity cannot be violated and political freedom cannot be violated. But there are two exceptions. One is under the UN Charter Chapter 7, under which peace is enforced by armed forces sent by the UN, and we have been taking part. And under Chapter 6 of the UN Charter, we send peacekeepers as observers, unarmed, to carry out peacekeeping. The second exception is in the right of self-defense. Any nation, when it finds it is threatened, the threat is immediate, the target is recognizable, and it includes terror camps, we can carry out this kind of strike without the UN Security Council's approval and against another sovereign state, which we have carried out. Under Article 51 of the UN Charter, we only have to prove that the threat was immediate, that it was going to be carried out whether by non-state actors or otherwise, that there was credible information, and we did not attack anything else. On the other hand, Pakistan did not have any such reasons to do what it did. See, when the MEA spokesman or the foreign secretary gave out his statement, every word was carefully chosen because it fell in line with the UN Charter and how it allows one nation to act that it did, including, preemptive strike, the word preemptive strike against civilian targets, etc., etc. And now the Pakistanis have carried out a strike. They had none of these targets, none of these threats. They have carried out against military targets, and after having captured one of our pilots, they are violating the Geneva Convention, which specifically lays down, even in the case of no war having been formally declared, in the case of armed conflict, even when one nation does not recognize that it is in armed conflict with the other, the Geneva Convention applies. And the first Geneva Convention which they have broken and the rules they have
Well,
broken
sir, I'll tell you.
is that they have paraded
Yes,
our pilot.
Article 13. You're absolutely
They
right.
have- they have-
Article
their-
13
their
says
office-
prisoner of war
their soldiers in
must at all
uniform
times
have
be humanely
videographed it.
treated. Any
They have-
unlawful
they have-
act or
they have
omission by the
broadcast it
detaining
on
power
television.
causing death or seriously endangering the health of a prisoner of war in its custody is prohibited and will be regarded as a serious breach of the present convention. In particular, no prisoner of war may be subjected to physical mutilation or to medical or scientific experiments of any kind which are not justified by the medical, dental or hospital treatment of the prisoner concerned and carried out in the interest. Likewise, prisoner of war must at all times be protected, particularly against acts of violence or intimidation and against insults and public curiosity. Measure of reprisal against prisoner of war are prohibited, and I can tell you there are videos that exist of how our brave pilot, who I can tell you viewers today, has stood up and refused to cooperate with those who were interrogating him on television. He said, I am not obliged to answer any of your questions. You know this very well. He exercised his right under extreme provocation. He had been mutilated. He had been beaten up. He had been roughed up. He was paraded. And let me also tell you that he was subjected to humiliation because rows and rows of citizens in Pakistan in one particular sector called the Bimber sector lined up and tried to pound the car in which, the armored vehicle in which he was being detained. This is what is happening in Pakistan. And I want to ask also, Prabhu Dayal, former diplomat, and General Sivach. First to you, Mr. Prabhu Dayal, how can India ensure that these cowards in Pakistan don't use our hero as a bargaining chip?
Well, first of all, Rahul, I must congratulate you on exposing Pakistan's fake pictures and fake news, because while every country has a Ministry of Information, Pakistan has a Ministry of Misinformation. And even the statements of their Prime Minister show how they are being scripted by Pakistan's army, which controls their Ministry of Misinformation. Now, as regards ensuring the safe custody of our prisoner of war in their custody, we have to do it through the Geneva Convention on the Treatment of Prisoners. We have to do it through the United Nations. Pakistan will not listen directly to our entreaties. We can give them a note verbal, which I'm sure we have given, and we can request for the return of our fighter pilot. But Pakistan is not really going to oblige us unless they are pressurized, and that pressure can be brought to bear on them through the United Nations.
Sir, let me tell you, a demarche has been issued by the Indian government right now to Pakistan, and I am going to read out what this statement says. Srinjoy Chaudhary reporting this, our National Affairs editor. We're going to connect with him just shortly, but let me just read out. The acting High Commissioner of Pakistan was summoned this afternoon by the MEA to lodge a strong protest at the unprovoked act of aggression by Pakistan against India earlier today, including by violation of the Indian airspace by Pakistan Air Force and targeting of Indian military posts. This is in contrast to the India's non-military anti-terror preemptive strike at a Jaish-e-Mohammed terror camp in Balakot on 22nd February 2019. It is unfortunate that instead of fulfilling its international obligation and bilateral commitment to take credible action against terrorist entities and individuals operating from its soil, Pakistan has acted with aggression against India. It was clearly conveyed that India reserves the right to take firm and decisive action to protect its national security, sovereignty and territorial integrity against any act of aggression of cross-border terrorism. Furthermore, the statement says India also strongly objected to Pakistan's vulgar display of an injured personnel of the Indian Air Force in violation of all norms of international humanitarian law and the Geneva Convention. It was made clear that Pakistan would be well advised to ensure that no harm comes to the Indian defense personnel in its custody. India also expects his immediate and safe return. Regret was expressed at continuing denial by Pakistan's political and military leadership at the presence of terrorist infrastructure in territories under its control. A dossier was handed over to Pakistan's side with specific details of Jaish-e-Mohammed complicity in Pulwama terror attack and the presence of Jaish-e-Mohammed terror camps and its leadership in Pakistan. It was conveyed that India expects Pakistan to take immediate and verifiable action against terrorism emanating from territories under its control. Srinjoy Chaudhary now with us. Srinjoy, straightforward message. India calling out the fakery of Pakistan on the one hand and determining the fact that they were actually transgressing our line of control to attack our military installations, and most importantly, a call is gone out to return our hero. Srinjoy.
Very, very clear message, Rahul, saying very clearly, first, do not ill-treat our pilots. And you already have. There is video evidence of that. Second, and that is against the Geneva Convention and every other modicum of international relations. The second, you return him, give him back. That's really the second point. Thirdly, the fact that India went across the border to target a terror camp. Pakistan came across the border to do what? To target a military target. As you rightly said, a brigade headquarters. There is a difference to that. India has to look after itself, because if it were not targeted, there were 30, 40 suicide bombers there who could well have come across the line of control and done another Pulwama. So India is very clear on this, and India has made it clear. But the bottom line is, give our pilots back.
Absolutely.
Rahul.
And another fake claim of Pakistan exposed. They had said that they knocked out one of our choppers. And I'm coming out to you in just 30 seconds. More news coming in. The IF has issued a statement. Today, one Mi-17 V5 helicopter got airborne from Srinagar airfield at 10:00 hours for a routine mission. It crashed around 10:10 hours near Budgam, Jammu and Kashmir. Note the timings. In 10 minutes, it crashed. All six air warriors on board helicopters suffered fatal injuries. A court of inquiry has been ordered to investigate the accident. Here is another lie. Pakistan has been saying that it demolished and brought down that jet, as they called it, in Budgam. It now turns out it was a helicopter, an Mi-17 V5 helicopter. Another news that Times Now had called out as fake from Pakistan. Disgusting country with disgusting standards of... And in no way would they want to meet their international obligations. India saying, return our hero. And I am putting this out on behalf of 1 billion plus Indians. Don't dare, Pakistan, don't dare harm our hero. Consequences will be devastating to you. And we are never going to bow to blackmail Pakistan, especially that is forged on the reputation and honor of our braves. Maruf Rasa.
Well, Rahul, our sentiments are running high. Pakistan has always, it's almost predictable when you engage with Pakistan and Pakistanis that whatever you say, they must do and say the opposite of that.
Yes.
To continue to maintain that their line and their narrative is right. What we need to do now is that all the diplomatic weight that we can carry,
we must
can
bring to bear.
Insist
Yes.
that all the countries
I
that
need to
would
also
like
bring in
to
General
support us,
Sivach on that
they
point.
must repeat the same line.
Yes, let me bring him in. He's been waiting very patiently, Maruf. Thank you, sir. Jai Hind to you. Thank you for joining the broadcast. So what do you make of all this?
See, Pakistan is a rogue state, and thinking that it will follow the norms of the day is asking for too much from Pakistan. But certainly you have to be careful now, put all diplomatic pressure on Pakistan, and now we have to ensure. See, first of all, you must be very careful that it is Pakistan has done an air violation, and it was going for a military target. Unlike India, which has gone basically against the terrorist camp in Balakot. So Pakistan did not have any targets of this nature. It went for a military target. It is a different thing that we have scrambled MiG-21, and they did not let these aircraft go to those assigned targets which they have gone. And we have managed to flee them back. But what point is there is that the MiG-21 which crashed, possibly due to error,
that pilot is in their custody, and we have to put a pressure on Pakistan diplomatically as well as all, that they should follow the norms of the day. They must treat this chap as per the Geneva Convention, because he has been taken as a prisoner in their country. Second issue is, as far as what they have done today, we have right to respond. We should not end it like here. Only hitting one terrorist camp will not be enough as far as Pakistan is concerned. It needs to be strike more, and we have to respond for what Pakistan has done today, because their intention were very clear to hit our military installation, that is your brigade headquarter is Krishna Ghati, and a battalion headquarter at Nanga Tekri, and other our logistic installation. So therefore, there is a requirement to give a suitable response to Pakistan. At the same time, diplomatically put pressure on Pakistan to treat our pilot, which is in their custody, which is very important, and try to get back at the earliest as feasible.
Well, that's the endeavor. Demarche been issued by the Indian government. Return our hero, don't dare harm our hero, Pakistan. Even as Pakistan parades him, tries to humiliate him in violation of Article 13 of the Geneva Conventions. We'll wrap it up. We come back to the fake news story that Times Now has been putting out since the morning. Watch how Pakistan's lies have crumbled bit by bit under Times Now's onslaught. We've called them out. We've indicated. Viewers, stay tuned.